What's going on, good people? Look who's back making videos. Aha! Oh god, my tongue is blue. Well, you already know what we're doing. About to head to the theater and go see Superman. Here's hoping.
2 hours later.
Just got out of the theater. I enjoyed myself, but it ain't perfect. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Brutal Planet Comics. I'm your host, Dre, the Brute Daniels, and what a glorious day it is, because your boy is back on YouTube. Yes, rejoice, my children, for it is a glorious day. Oh, it's been a long time, but there's only one thing that would bring me out of my hiatus, and of course, it would be Superman, which of course I saw. And as you saw in my opening credits, I enjoyed this film. Now, that does not mean that this film is good, but I definitely had fun and I was entertained by it. So we're going to talk about some things I already like, some things that I think are absolute crap. So if you haven't seen the film yet, spoilers ahead.
Okay, go!
That's all I can really say. So first, let's talk about the characters. All right, let's keep it 100. I thoroughly enjoyed David Cornsweet's take on the Man of Steel. He got the look, he got the attitude, that love for life. Multiple scenes of him, putting his life on the line for, squirrels and whatever. All that cool stuff that embodied Superman, that love of life. And David Cornsweet really brought that out, and I thought he did a very good job. I think he just exhumed what it was like to be Superman in the proper way. Now, there's a couple scenes in there, like early on with him and Lois arguing on stuff like that. I think that was kind of out of character, but all the same, I think he did an excellent job embodying him. And this might be controversial to a lot of people. Now, I love Henry Cavill. That's not debatable. I think he got a raw deal. But as far as embodying the elements of who Superman is, I think David Cornsweet does a better job at that. Now, once again, that is about what scripts that were given. He was actually given something to work with when, of course, Henry Cavill did not, but that's a conversation for another time. But I'm giving a big old thumbs up to the Cornsweet, I think what I call it that, for the Superman performance. Now the supporting cast, what was that? Rachel Brosnahan, great Lois Lane. I thought she embodied it. There was no girl boss nonsense. I thought she was really good. There was a couple moments where it felt like she was a little out of character when it came to working with Mr. Terrific. I thought a couple things were, kind of off, but all the same, I think she embodied it well. Jimmy Olsen is a straight up pimp. I thought it was great because even in the comics, canonically, he pulls. You know what I'm saying? He pulls. So, and he actually had stuff to do. He actually helped move the story forward. I use the term story very loosely, and we'll talk about that later. But I thought they did an excellent job, and I thought the casting was excellent.
Nani?
Okay, this is where things get a little dicey for me. Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner was really good. Edie as Mr. T, Mr. Terrific, great casting. I thought they embodied it very well. Everything with Hawk Girl did not work. This ain't even Shia Hall. This is one of the reincarnated versions, all that stuff. That joint did not work. And quite frankly, the whole Justice Gang thing didn't work for me in this film at all. I'll get into that later on when we start talking about the story. But let's just talk casting. I thought the casting of Nathan Fillion and Mr. Terrific were great. Hawk Girl, less to be desired. I'll tell you that. And it was just weird. Just weird. Didn't make any sense. Let's talk about my boy Nick Holt. I like this Lex Luthor until the third act, but I like this Lex Luthor. I think it came off really well. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I like the motivation until the third act. I like the motivation. I like this Lex Luthor. I like the planning. I love the scheming. I love the conniving. I love the fact that he's back after Land, like the 1978 version. I thought there was a lot that, once again, I think this was performed well. I don't think he was given a lot of good material, but I think he performed very well, and I really did enjoy it. And that's my opinion. Like, people might disagree with me, but hey, that's what it is. So now that we tackle the characters, which once again, I've been on record. I think this was a very well acted film. Now let's talk about the story.
Hey, don't go soft now. Your journey has only just begun.
Okay, this story I had big problems with. First of all, this film drops us in what feels like a second of 3 films. Superman has already been Superman for 3 years, and he's already saved a bunch of people. He's done a whole lot of things. I know they didn't want to go into the whole origin all over again, and that's fine. But the sole fact is that we don't know who this Superman is. We do not know anything about him, and we're dropped right in the middle of a fight. And then we're right at the Forge of Solitude. Then we introduced to Crypto, and Crypto's annoying. Like, the story was going a million miles a minute, and there was no room to breathe, and there was no growth for Superman's story arc. Like, the whole thing is basically, hey, I was right about Lex, and then at the end I'm right about Lex, and he didn't go through any type of arc, any type of growth. The development of this character did not exist as far as the story is concerned. Like I said, Cornsweat, he worked with what he got, and he did a very good job with what he did. But as far as the story is concerned, it was not good. I cannot stress that enough. The story was not good. The action sequences were fine. But there's just a lot. There was just a lot of problems here, and I think that if we at least and the opening crawl was kind of dumb too, to try to fill in the gaps. But this couldn't even fill in the gaps for me, not for one solitary second. But you know, it is what it is. I don't think the introduction to Superman was very good. We just watched him get his butt kicked a whole lot, and the pocket dimension, it was just a lot. Like, you know, James Gunn just throwing a lot at the wall and hoping something stuck. But the story just did not click whatsoever. And there's a boy. So we gotta talk about the villains. Ultraman, they completely butchered Ultraman. They made him a clone of Superman instead of doing the, I think, Earth 2, which would have been really cool. He's just a dumb clone, and I guess he's gonna become Bizarro later on or whatever. The engineer, my goodness, she was only there to hack Kryptonian technology and was successful. But we'll talk about that in a second. But the real issue with me was the heel turn that the public did on Superman. Right when it was hacked and they got into a coded message from Jor-El, and we'll get to that in a second. Everybody was told that oh, there's a translation and it shows that Superman's really here to conquer us and take our women, and then literally he hasn't done any of these things or hinted at it, and the public turned. He literally just saved everybody from a kaiju, and the public literally turned on him that very same second. It was so jarring that it would make you at neck snap, and we're just so quick to try to get to, let's turn on Superman and then put him in peril so that we can get to these other characters that we really don't care about. The Justice Gang is fine and all, but they had way too much screen time. And I like Mr. Terrific, but this is a Superman movie, and I came to watch Superman, and I didn't really get that, and that really disappointed me. Now, granted, some of the scenes are still, the action scenes are fun. There's some goofiness, which we'll talk about. The moments of levity are pretty much undercut by goofiness, and it's James Gunnisms, and we'll talk about him in a little bit. But yeah, so let's. It was just kind of, it wasn't even disappointing. It was just like, yeah, it's part of the course. Let's talk about Jor-El for a second. What they did to Jor-El was character assassination. So basically, you know how in every Superman joint, Jor-El is sent like, my son, I send you to be with the people and protect them, teach them, help them grow, all that cool stuff. Not this one. This one, apparently, the other half of the message, after all the good, positive, oh, I love you, my son, blah, blah, blah. The second half of the message was, kill everybody, rule over them, and take the women. I'm like, what the heck? Like, that's not Jor-El. That's not his character. If that was the case, Jor-El and Zod would not have beefed, because that was Zod's idea and story for being conquerors. So it was very bizarre, very insane. I thought it was a character assassination, and I really did not like that. And I don't know why James Gunn included it, but it was offensive on so many levels, and I could not stand it. It hurt my soul. I ain't gonna lie. like me and another guy was sitting right next to me. We both looked at each other and like, isn't that Zod's story? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. What a disaster. Like, I really did not like that. The story really gave me one swift kick in the nards. Speaking of kicking the nards, Mr. Terrific got a lot of screen time. And you know what? I'm a fan of Mr. Terrific, and I think his portrayal was very, very good. However, how the heck is he the 1B character in a Superman movie? We spent more time and got to know him better than we did Superman. Superman was in a pocket dimension. Don't ask questions. It's not even worth thinking about. Lex Luthor can create pocket dimensions. Don't even try not to think about it. And so Lois and Mr. Terrific team up to go and save him. And Mr. Terrific has this cool fight scene, but of course, it has some weird punk rock music that doesn't fit this character because James Gunn is insane and he can't let go of Guardians of the Galaxy and blah 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 blah. But I like Mr. Terrific, so I like a lot about this, but I really hated the fact that this was a Justice Gang movie featuring Superman. Superman doesn't even freaking save the day. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. Mr. Terrific saves the day and stops Lex Luthor from tearing a rift through all of humanity, which was so stupid that my brain literally split in half. But Mr. Terrific was still great, but there's no way, shape, or form that this should have stood. And I just, the plot it's just not it. It's just not it. Now let's get to the real problem. The real problem is James Gunn, period. Full stop. Full stop. We're going to spend a little time here. James Gunn does not understand nuance. He does not understand grounded characters. He doesn't know what he's doing with a character like Superman. I am on record, and I will not take that back. He wanted to make an ensemble film, and he did. This man wanted to make the Justice Gang. It's not up for debate. It's what it is. He spent so much time with them and developing them, minus Hawkgirl. I don't know why she was even here, except to commit an assassination on a foreign leader, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. But James Gunn wanted to make an ensemble film, and that's what he did. He doesn't have what it takes to make a solo Superman film. This film should have just been Superman and we getting to know this new version of Superman. Maybe have him fight Metallo, which apparently he did in a tie-in novel that connects to this.
What? What are you talking about?
Golly. He does not know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to these type of characters. If he's good at misfits, he's good at ensembles. He's done it a bunch of times. It's his bread and butter. But this was Superman. This is a time for nuance. This was the time to get it right. And he made it his business to grab every comic book he ever read or TV show he heard of, whether it be The Boys. He took elements from that. He took elements from Invincible, and then took elements from every Superman comic that he maybe seen or heard or felt at one point in his life, and just threw it all together. It was a hodgepodge of a mess, and he should be ashamed of himself. But it's James Gunn. What were we expecting? It's James Gunn. So, let's get to my final verdict.
Final round. Fight.
So ultimately, what do I think about Superman 2025? It is a very flawed film, but if you turn your brain off and just there to have fun, you'll have fun. If you're into James Gunnisms, you're going to have yourself a good time. I am personally not into that. But what I am into was fun action sequences. I got that. The characters, as far as acting and performances, I thought was done very, very well. The plot was an absolute mess, but I had fun. And not to mention, I'll have to add this caveat: there was no messages to try to teach me to save the world or believe in this or try to change my mind about how I live or what. None of that stuff. So to the credit of the film, I have to give it credit. It didn't do anything that I wasn't expecting it to do. I was not expecting this film to break all types of records and be the greatest film of all time. I had no idea or thought of that even coming closer at any point, not one iota. So I got exactly what I thought I was going to get. So I really can't complain. I'm disappointed in the fact that the potential was there that wasn't executed properly. But this is James Gunn, and James Gunn is going to do what James Gunn does.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you thought this was the greatest Superman movie of all time. Let me know in the comment section below. You know what I mean? I'm look, this just I'm just one guy, and this is my opinion. And do all those great YouTube things. Like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. And always, you guys have been fan-freaking-tastic, and I'll catch you all next time.